If there is anything that I have learned throughout my life, is that there are very specific, important things that matter so much more than money. And don't get me wrong, I love money, and I know that money is a necessity in the way of the world in which we live in, simply because of the meaning we've given it, the power that it has in an exchange. So I understand it. But there are definitely things that are so much more valuable than that, meaning that they cannot be bought, like self confidence, being able to validate yourself, um, being sovereign in your own body, finding that power within yourself. When you have these things, you don't often feel the need to be one upping somebody else or being stuck in that whole titleness of everything and reputation. Um, but I guess reputation matters depending on where you are, especially when it comes to work and whatnot. But I am just talking in a sense of fuck around and find out. Just be a human, dog. Just be a human. Be free. Free yourself from the shackles of this fucking bullshit we call society. Because if you haven't realized or if you haven't noticed yet, everything is a fucking lie. Most things that you think are true, if you really question it and you go deep enough into it, you will realize how fucking bullshit it is. Starting with the concept of money. Mm-hmm. And you know, back in 2021, I was homeless. And I wasn't homeless for the whole year, but I was homeless for a short period of time. It was months. And I was living in this shelter in Vancouver. And I met some pretty interesting people. And just like in the regular world, you know, that people would call regular, there were really cool people, and there were some people that were questionable, you know, not only in what they looked like, but it was just like who they portrayed themselves to be. You know, like when you walk around in a group of people, you can feel the consciousness, you can feel the energy between a person that just, just seems like good centered and a person that just seems like pure fucking evil. But anyways, that's not the point of this. The point of this is that I ended up meeting some very interesting people and some very pure hearts. And looking around in the world that I live in, well, I live in my own world. Nah. But I'm talking like in a sense of like outside of the little world that I have created for myself. People just seem so stuck on wanting power, wanting to be above other people, wanting to be more. But they've never actually tried to address themselves or their own insecurities or how can they pivot within themselves so they can attract different things in their life. They're not even wanting or willing to be conscious enough when it comes to that matter. And I think it's really interesting because the more I look at it and the more I see it, I know for a fact this is literally coming from the fact that they don't know how to appreciate life. They don't know how to appreciate themselves and they don't know how to appreciate the things that they have. And it's really crazy how Sometimes you really gotta hit rock bottom to be able to understand it. There is so much value in life. And, I see so many different kinds of people and different personalities that just, over the smallest things, fuss, 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 complain, complain, complain. Oh my gosh, the world is falling on me. It's raining with a chance of meatballs in that beach. Again, because nobody has really taught them how to appreciate themselves in life. And also understanding that there is probably a child within that wasn't taught how to process different feelings and different things. So literally at the smallest things, it's like a whole fucking explosion and the whole world is about to come to an end. And I don't think that they realize how much that attracts more of it, more disaster, more instability. And it just seems to me like sometimes you really do gotta hit rock bottom to be able to appreciate life and those things. Because, man, when you really hit the lowest of the low, you'll realize rock bottom is not the bottom. You could go lower than that. And you could go through the phase of fussing and complaining about everything. But if you are able to get yourself out of that, you will come to a place of complete just understanding and surrendering and being at peace with it. And just being like, all right, it is what it is. I accept it as it is. I will go with the flow. And when you get to that, then you come to understand that that is not the end. And there will be other times. There will be more to come. And just like there is other times and there will be more to come, you can probably get yourself out of that situation as well. But it's not gonna happen by fussing and just, you know? It almost feels like it's a waste of energy. Even though I know that energy is just energy and, there's just constant transformation and transmutation. So what I'm trying to say with this is that you must cultivate these things within yourself that cannot be bought. You must learn how to regulate yourself, your emotions, your state of being. It's not going to stop at the outside world from being the outside world, but it's definitely going to help you to maneuver through life with a lot more ease, with a lot less resistance. And I don't know why I feel like I want to cry right now. I wish somebody told me this shit in the past. But I have been working really, really hard on becoming the person that I always wanted to be. And I am her, bitch. I am her. Even though sometimes, I don't feel the greatest. Or when I'm looking in the mirror, I feel. But I still love me regardless. Even when I don't know how to feel. Even when it feels like I don't really want to be in this flesh. I'm gonna go into the mirror and be like, you gorgeous. I love you. I love me. You matter to me. Because listen. I've tried killing myself twice. Okay? I've been the fussy person. I've been that person that made a big deal out of everything. I've been extremely problematic. And even though, I was problematic to the world, I was a bigger problem to myself. It didn't, when I tried, it didn't go the way that I wanted to. And after the second try, man, there's a moment where just like, fuck, man. Now all I gotta do is fucking live. I must live. I've tried twice. It didn't work. So instead of looking for the negativity and the fucking problems out of everything, I gotta look on the bright side. And I gotta look for the things that work for me. And I've made myself, and listen, being delusional is not healthy then. Let's be clear with that. But there are healthy things that you can find to be delusional about. Like extreme positivity. I don't know, man, but it just works for me. I genuinely believe that everything works out for me. Even though it's taken me fucking years to infiltrate that into my system to a point where, like, it cannot believe anything other than it. You know? Because again, nobody really taught me how to do any of these things. I have had to come into my own and figure shit out on my own. Also by watching videos like this, listening to people saying things like this. For some reason, today I felt like I needed to do this video. I was trying to do it on my phone, but I don't have enough space in there, so now I'm doing it on my laptop. But anyways, hopefully this helps somebody. I don't love the camera on this laptop because it makes me look, when I stop that video, it's gonna. Nevertheless, I'm gorgeous. I'm stunning. And even if the world doesn't think that I am, I know I am that bitch.